Dear friends, welcome to another episode of The Situation Room. Today we dive into a story that could reshape global power. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, where Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping outlined a vision for a new world order. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. In Tianjin, Xi Jinping hosted more than 20 non-Western leaders. On the stage of the SCO, he called for a new architecture for global governance. In plain language, it was a direct challenge to the US-led order that has dominated since World War II. Xi declared that the world stands at a crossroads, condemning what he called Cold War mentalities and intimidation in global affairs. This was aimed squarely at Washington and at President Trump's aggressive tariff policies that have strained China's economy and global trade. But Xi didn't stop at speeches. He presented 4 concrete initiatives. First, a new development bank under SCO control. Second, a mechanism to coordinate industrial projects in sensitive sectors. Third, $1.4 billion in loans over 3 years to support weaker members. And fourth, unrestricted access to Beidou, China's satellite navigation system designed as a direct competitor to America's GPS. These are not just words, they're instruments meant to reduce reliance on the US. Vladimir Putin immediately endorsed Xi's plan, calling it a foundation for stability across Eurasia. For Russia, this alignment is more than symbolic. Since 2022, Western sanctions have squeezed Moscow, making China and India vital outlets for oil and gas exports. Putin went further, suggesting new financial mechanisms to bypass the dollar and even joint SCO bonds to shield trade from external shocks. And of course, Putin used the summit to repeat his narrative about the war in Ukraine. He accused the West of starting the conflict and claimed peace will only come once the so-called roots of the crisis are eliminated. Language meant to justify his ongoing invasion. Perhaps the most surprising turn involves India. In recent weeks, relations between Washington and New Delhi have soured after President Trump imposed some of the world's highest tariffs. Billions in trade are at risk, threatening jobs and businesses in India. Trump's argument: India's purchases of Russian oil help fund the war in Ukraine. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi insists those imports are essential for 1.4 billion Indians, not a scheme to profit from the conflict. Now, despite deep border disputes, Modi is cautiously rebuilding ties with Beijing, re-establishing direct flights and forming working groups to ease frontier tensions. Moves that may seem small, but symbolically they mark a significant opening toward China. And India isn't alone. Turkey, long a difficult NATO ally, is also leaning toward the SCO. Iran, under heavy US sanctions, signed a joint letter with China and Russia pushing back against European efforts to reinstate penalties. And even North Korea is finding space in this emerging coalition, reinforcing ties with both Moscow and Beijing. Together, these moves highlight the slow consolidation of a bloc designed to counterbalance American power. The summit wasn't just about finance and diplomacy. Military power was front and center, with Putin staying in China to attend a massive parade in Tiananmen Square marking the 85th anniversary of the end of World War II. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is expected to attend as well, another signal of growing military cooperation between Beijing, Moscow, and Pyongyang. So what does all this mean? Xi and Putin are pushing a 3-pillar system: financial independence from the US dollar, shared strategic infrastructure like Beidou, and political legitimacy backed by orchestrated summits and military showcases. The ultimate goal is clear: to present an alternative model of global governance, one in which Washington plays no leading role. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin are betting that by exploiting US tariffs, sanctions, and strained alliances, they can draw countries like India, Turkey, and Iran closer to their orbit. What's emerging is an unmistakable trend, a coordinated bloc challenging American influence and a vision of a world order no longer led from Washington, but from Beijing and Moscow. And once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so and hit the bell icon to stay updated.
The Cold War mentality, hegemonism, and protectionism continue to haunt the world. New threats and challenges have been only increasing. The world has found itself in a new period of turbulence and transformation. Global governance has come to a new crossroads. History tells us that at difficult times, we must uphold our original commitment to peaceful coexistence, strengthen our confidence in win-win cooperation, advance in line with the trend of history, and thrive in keeping pace with the times. To this end, I wish to propose the Global Governance Initiative. It follows my previous global initiatives, namely Global Development Initiative, Global Security Initiative, and Global...
In Beijing, there are going to be festive events to celebrate the victory over Japan in the end of World War II, and we are going to attend these events together. And as you've just mentioned, that it might rain tomorrow, but I'm certain that it's not going to change our festive moods, and the Chinese armed forces are going to have a splendid parade tomorrow, no matter what.